With everyday cost as high as they
Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I was sitting here in front of the computer and I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I'll go live right at 11:40. And I'm sitting here, I'm messing around with my Ring doorbell. And I completely lost track of time. Oh my gosh. It's been one of those days, y'all. It's Friday the 13th, June 13th, 2025. And today was rather interesting. Very interesting day in court today. And before I get to the actual testimony, let me pull it up real quick. How are you guys doing, by the way? How are you guys doing? How are you guys faring today? Let me know in the comments. Replay gang, let me know on the replay. How is everything going in your world? I'm checking on my strong friends. How y'all doing? How you guys doing? Can y'all hear me? Oh yeah, y'all can hear me just fine. Hey Crystal, hi Lisa. Okay, so let me pull it up because today, let's see, hold on. Today was very interesting. Boop, 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 boop. Where is the dang start of this thing? I should have probably taken screenshots. Okay, here we go. Mm, mm. I'm trying to find the beginning. Okay, now, all right. Show more. Before the jury is in. All right, so Combs's Xavier Donaldson, Your Honor, wanted us to address juror number 6, the judge. We could do that at another time. AUSA Comey. After Mr. Perez, we have exhibits to introduce so we can get um, our summary charts together over the weekend. Right, so what is the argument they were having this morning? I can't find it, so let's go ahead and get to testimony because I'm not going to spend all day looking for it. But I'm going to share with you guys what happened after testimony regarding juror number 6.
The government calls Special Agent Andre Lamont. Where do you work?
HSI in Los Angeles in the human unit.
Do you execute search warrants?
Yes, 50 or 60 so far.
Did you search 200 South Mapleton Drive in Los Angeles?
Yes. HSI New York asked HSI LA to be involved. We executed the search warrant.
Here's an exhibit. Please publish it. What are these other buildings?
Sauna, recording studio.
What rooms were searched?
All. It is a large property. I went through the objects that we seized, then entered them into our case management system.
We moved to enter into evidence these exhibits.
At this moment, the defense objected, and then they had a sidebar, then continued.
What are these?
It's the Big Pig Song!
So the first person up to testify is a Homeland Security agent, special agent from LA.
It's of 200 South Mapleton.
How do you know they are accurate?
I was there.
How many manila envelopes were there in the nightstand?
6.
What was written on them?
K.
Publish the stipulation. Testing determined in the K envelope with a shamrock on it was ketamine. Is there a safe in this closet?
Yes, it's gray there in the photo.
What was in the safe?
A passport for Sean Combs and a plastic bag with substances in it.
Stipulation at paragraph 15 to 16. Testing found the brown pebbles were MDMA. What is in this bag?
J&J baby oil, Astroglide, and some lingerie.
Where else were Astroglide and baby oil found?
In the bathroom, in the garage.
Show the photos. Where were these boxes of Astroglide?
In the garage.
Overall, how many bottles of baby oil did you find?
200.
How many bottles of Astroglide in 200 South Mapleton?
900.
Let's turn to the firearms found in the residence. What are these?
A Ruger, a Glock pistol, some AR-15 platform.
Show the photo. What is this?
The Smith & Wesson rifle on the chair. 3 30-round magazines. There is a 5.11 bag.
What's that?
Just a bag.
And this?
Rifles and a Mossberg shotgun.
And this?
A drum magazine, large capacity. This one was a 60 round. It had 59 rounds of green tip ammunition in it.
What does green tip ammunition do?
It is designed to pierce body armor.
Could you go look at the boxes of firearms in the cart next to you?
The serial numbers, where they existed, matched up.
Do any of the firearms not have serial numbers?
One did not, this one.
How are serial numbers eliminated?
Sanded off with a machine. It's smooth. Not like it was done with a screwdriver.
No further questions.
You are aware that Mr. Combs has security, right?
Yes.
And every gun and piece of ammo was recovered from the security office, right?
Yes.
There were no guns in the kid's bedroom?
None.
Was the security office door locked?
Not when I got there.
But before, isn't it important? Did it have a lock?
It had a knob. Lock, I don't know. We brought a locksmith, but I didn't see him touch that safe.
We're in Manhattan. We don't know a lot about guns. Sorry. This was a gun safe?
Designed for that.
Why not photo of opening it?
SRT goes in first.
So because of this protocol, we don't have any photographs. So you use a body cam?
No.
In your human work, have you ever dealt with Astroglide before?
Only in this case.
Okay, so the baby oil was in the garage.
It was the Astroglide in the garage.
You're from LA?
Yes.
Enjoy. No further questions.
Now the next witness was brought to the stand.
My colleagues tell me Mr. Combs has been nodding during cross. Please instruct him. The government calls Jonathan Perez. Where are you from?
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
What was your work?
Personal assistant to Mr. C. Sean Combs.
From when?
December 2021 to September 2024.
How did you learn of the job?
KK reached out to me. Christina Coram. I had interviewed with her for the same job. KK told me to go to Miami for a trial.
What do you mean?
To try the job for a week. I passed the test, got hired,
What was your job?
making sure he had material for meeting, buying gifts.
Where did you work?
LA and Miami.
Did KK and Mr. Combs appear to be personal friends too?
It would depend on the day.
And you and Mr. Combs?
First 6 months, little interaction. It was KK who'd give me instructions.
Then for Mr. Combs?
Yes,
When you were employed by Mr. Combs, were you aware of the term King Knight?
yes. Mr. Combs going to a hotel to have private time with a female.
Let me show you a photo under seal. I will refer to her as Jane.
Yes, she was a guest.
Did you include honey in your setups for King Knights?
Yes,
Why?
honey increases a man's libido.
What lights would you bring?
Red, but they could change colors. We'd get better than at Target or Walgreens or Amazon.
Would you make purchases at sex stores?
Yes.
Would staff do cleanup after king nights?
Yes, I did it. It was in disarray. Sheets and towels and oils. We would go to collect everything.
After the king night?
A meal and a drip.
Mr. Perez, is this your text message?
Yes, it's me, KK and Joey.
KK asks, how is the setup going? How much longer do y'all need? What did you write back?
I wrote, I got fruits and shakes, and we'll ask Jane about outfits.
Then KK asks, is room done yet? How did you respond?
I wrote, room is done. Now going to store.
What store?
Adult store.
Afterward, KK asks about cleanup. Of what?
The room.
How did you become aware of this video?
A videographer named Brandon showed it to me.
Where did you go?
I took an iPad and went to the office.
What was on the video?
Jane having with a black man and Mr. Combs watching.
Did you tell Mr. Combs?
I did. I told him I found it on an iPad and it probably shouldn't be there. He seemed surprised.
What did KK say?
That in the future, I should bring things like that to her. I described it to her.
Did you speak with her about it again?
KK said she had gotten a call from someone outside the company talking about the video in some capacity.
Did you record that conversation?
No.
Were you aware it was recorded?
No.
Show the stipulation. Seizure of Christina Corum's cell phone. We offer the audio and transcripts. Whose voice did you hear, Mr. Perez?
KK's.
Was Chef K in the theater?
Yes.
Why didn't you say Chef K was there?
I just wanted to minimize things.
Did anyone ask you again?
Yes, Fahim did. Asked me what happened when I found the video of Jane.
Are you aware of how Fahim knew?
No.
Mr. Perez, were you subpoenaed and do you have an immunity agreement?
Yes.
Let me show you this. What is it?
Mr. Combs's Gucci pouch.
What was in the Gucci pouch?
It was in money.
Now some text. Between whom?
Me and Rob.
Rob says, will you locate his Gucci pouch in his bathroom? What did you say?
I texted. There was no residue and I didn't steal any Addy. LOL.
Meanwhile, what?
Adderall.
As part of your employment, did you have any role in obtaining drugs?
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell your house for any reason,
These commercials.
A handful of times. I purchased
Hey,
one wrapping
midwife.
from someone outside.
Who were you getting the
Hey,
drugs
Butch
for?
babies.
Combs.
Which drugs?
Cocaine, Molly,
How did you pay for the drugs?
cash,
Where did you get the cash?
security, or the Gucci pouch.
Who in security?
Fahim.
What did your text here say?
I texted, Fa, I need $700 for Guido. For drugs.
And this text?
I texted, I'm still waiting for funds from TriStar, Mr. Combs' business managers.
Who'd you interact with at TriStar?
Robin Greenhill.
Did you get a FaceTime from Mr. Combs from Jane's house?
Yes, I dropped him at Jane's house with his supplies. Then he called me a couple of hours later,
How did Mr. Combs appear in the FaceTime?
angry and annoyed.
Could you see Jane's face?
No, she was turned away.
What did Mr. Combs ask?
For me to say if there had been another female on a trip we had been on. I said no.
Had there been?
No.
How did you react during this FaceTime?
Pretty normal, I thought.
What did you do?
I told Fahim and KK that Mr. Combs was arguing with his guest and that I was going to pick him up.
What is this?
Message between me, Fahim, and Mr. Combs, June 20th, 2024. I wrote, need cash for his guest ASAP.
Do you know what the money was for?
No.
Why did you leave working for Mr. Combs?
To avoid a situation like this.
How do you feel about Mr. Combs?
Great. The same way as when I worked there.
No further questions.
Mr. Combs is a motivator, yes.
He is.
Have you seen Mr. Combs cry? Let me show you something. Give me 1 second. Your Honor, may I hand him a book? 3605.
I can't remember if he was crying, but this does remind me that he was upset.
Look again.
It does not refresh.
You said there was a lot going on. Do you remember the March searches?
Yes.
You saw the news?
Yes.
Have you been in the bedroom at 2 Star?
Yes.
Did you ever see any guns there?
No.
Did you ever see him with firearms?
Never. I only saw security with them.
Because he's a man of note, right?
Yes.
He's a man respected in many fields.
At this moment, the prosecution objected and then continued.
You have worked with other celebrities,
Yes,
and many of them have security, right?
they do.
You mentioned Jane. She was nice to you.
Yes.
You called King Knight's personal time, right?
Yes.
Mr. Combs works long hours, right?
Yes.
Because you worked out of his homes, sometimes business and personal got mixed, right?
Correct.
Setting up a King's Night, was that business or personal?
Personal.
And buying drugs. I'm not saying you did it often. That was personal too, right?
Right.
And buying lingerie for Jane, personal?
Personal.
Did Jane always appear to you to be a willing participant in the King's Nights?
At this moment, the prosecution objected and it was overruled.
Yes, always.
A small amount of drugs, personal use?
At this moment, the prosecution objected and it was sustained.
Can you estimate percentages of your work business and personal?
I'd say personal was 1%.
Mr. Combs needed help connection to Bluetooth.
Yes,
He was not very high tech.
he was not.
Mr. Combs was working on an album, very hard, right?
Yes,
You said KK and Mr. Combs were close, right?
yes,
But you are not saying it was sexual?
I am not.
The argument you saw on FaceTime, it was a verbal argument, not physical as you saw it, right?
Right.
You learned it was about jealousy?
Yes.
Jane was very jealous.
At this moment, the prosecution objected, and it was sustained.
You're about the same age as Jane?
Yes.
Was Jane a strong and independent woman?
Yes.
You made purchases in sex stores with the company credit card,
Yes.
but you don't know if Mr. Combs paid?
I don't.
The hotel was put in your name. You had to go in to set up the room, right?
Yes.
And if the room was registered as Sean Combs, there might be cameras outside, right?
Yes.
We proposed this exhibit.
At this moment, the prosecution objected, and then they had a sidebar.
So, Mr. Perez, these are between you and Jane. What did you say to her?
I was setting up a king's night. She was telling me what to get.
She is cooperating in setting it up. Here, the chef says he's making her avocado toast. She asks for hot tea and honey to go with heart emoji. And you replied?
I loved it.
And you wrote?
I wrote, "Have a good flight and dinner. I want photos of you and the gang."
She wrote to you, he's looking for smoke. And you wrote, coming?
Yes.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions.
Was getting those things for Jane part of your job?
Yes.
Did you ever set up king nights on vacation?
No.
This item, new hookah, is that personal?
Not necessarily.
And the baby oil?
Personal.
Part of your job?
Yes.
It was TriStar which designated the payments, not you, right?
Right.
And that was it for the Diddy trial today. It was a bit of a hectic day today, as it was all mostly the defense prosecution arguing. But what did you think about this testimony?
So that was all of the testimony presented. However, when they mention the hectic nature of the day, I think what they're referring to is the discussion that ensued before as well as after testimony. Before testimony began, Donaldson brought up the issue of juror number 6. And let's see. Let's see here. Let me start right here. Okay, jurors leave. And then it says, Judge, on juror number 6, under the Fazio case, Second Circuit District Court have broad discretion. Judge, in the morning when we addressed this, I said based on the record, I was not sure an inquiry was needed. During the breaks, I looked at the transcripts, transcript from the roping room and from voir dire. There is not evidence of bias. The juror indicated he moved to New Jersey with his girlfriend. It may not be permanent, but has been for the past few weeks. That was initially. There was a long break to confer. When the juror returned, the court asked, and he said 4 to 5 days a week in New York. He's saying that he lives in New York for 4 to 5 days. Judge, in the roping room, he said the daughter lived in New Jersey. Then he said in the Bronx with his aunt. In voir dire, he said he lived with his girlfriend who lives in New Jersey. These are inconsistencies. There's more in the U.S. letter, not in the docket, in the government's letter. The judge, the court does not feel further inquiry is required. The reason we have alternate jurors is if questions arise. Where there's a question like this, removal of the juror is required. The juror will be dismissed. He should not return on Monday. Combs is Xavier Donaldson. Let me make a record. We didn't want an inquiry because it might have a chilling effect. It is very, very, very common to have a girlfriend in New Jersey or vice versa. He should have been allowed to explain. These jurors have been attentive. Combs Donaldson continued, I'm concerned that the court is equating inconsistencies with lying or hiding something from the court. If you bring him out here, we can come to some sort of understanding. He has come here every day. I have been practicing in this court 20 or 35 years. Donaldson continues. There have been issues with representation of African American and Hispanic jurors in this district. We taken a step with this jury. Now we're taking a step backward. Some say Black and Hispanic jurors don't answer the call. He did. Judge, anything from the government? AUSA, I have nothing to add to your Honor's ruling. Mr. Donaldson is suggesting we make the decision here based on race. But the focus here is integrity of the proceeding. The alternates have also been showing up on time. Judge, in voir dire, he said, I live in the Bronx with my fiance and daughter. There is no reason to lie, but to try to get onto the jury. Then, on the colloquy, he said, I'm sorry, I just messed up and skipped my screenshot. Then, on the colloquy, he said he had just moved to New Jersey, adding that his daughter had been living in New Jersey. He said, all my bills go to the Bronx. It's that he wanted to be, oh, Lord have mercy. The court does not feel blah, blah, blah. Hold on, y'all. I'm reading screenshots and I keep swiping too fast. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay. After the break, all my bills go to Bronx. It's that he wanted to get on the jury. After the break, he says he actually spends more of his time in the Bronx, which is flat inconsistent with what he'd previously said. The juror is shading answers to stay on the jury. Judge, that's why this is the right thing to move to the alternate. Combs' Donaldson. It is going to be a less diverse jury. That is a fact. Seeing that I've seen this in this district, it is paramount to get a representative jury, particularly in this city. Judge, I've heard you, Mr. Donaldson. Combs' Agnafillo. I've got a new argument. There was a state case that there's a difference between the principal jurors and the alternate jurors. I know I'm throwing the ball in the end zone in New York law. Hail Mary. Combs is still. They bring this up now after weeks of watching the jury's reactions. Now they go back to voir dire. Everybody knew, but no one did anything. At the very least, bring the juror to potentially explain. Judge, I'll consider all this. Judge, this came up in a colloquy this week in an organic way. If the defense knew it before, that's something else. I'm going to thank Mr. Donaldson and Mr. Agnafillo for the issues they raised. If there's a change in my thinking, I'll let you know. AUSA, for the record, we had no idea during voir dire. Judge, all right, let me have the parties at the sidebar. New judge returns. We have a sensitive matter to discuss. Everyone must leave the courtroom. The courtroom will be sealed. 4:33 p.m. After a too long sealed courtroom, this being reopened. An explanation of what happened in the sealed courtroom and why it was sealed should have been given. That's what this person is updating us says. Now, after bathroom break for the defendant, Combs' Agnafillo. The New York case I cited was based on the New York, not U.S. Constitution voice, but it's still a constitution. No summary of what the sealed courtroom was about. The judge. Is the only reason Miss Coram took the videos at issue was because lawyers in the civil case asked her to do so? AUSA, it goes to Miss Coram's knowledge. At the same time, Jane testified she is talking to Miss Coram. AUSA, one of our witnesses next week will testify that Ms. Karam had access to Mr. Combs's phone and texted from it. Judge, the relevance of her knowledge, AUSA, and that she continued to facilitate hotel nights after knowing. Combs's Garagos. It was Jane who asked for the Four Seasons. Anytime she went to the 2-star, KK left the premises. AUSA Comey. Jane coordinated her flights with KK. At least 2 instances of alleged SMEX trafficking. Mr. Combs gave her liquid Molly. Judge, the defense's objection to these exhibits is overruled. Any more? Combs's Garagos. D-Rock ended his employment in 2017. He needed to pay for his grandmother's gravestone. He asked Mr. Combs for money. Butler is grateful. How is this relevant? Combs's Garagos. Beyond employment, Mr. Combs and Mr. Butler, D-Rock, have been friends for years. For decades, the judge. I find that persuasive. Next issue. Combs's Driscoll. The government has essentially abandoned the claim that Gina was a victim. AUSA. The exhibit rebuts their argument that Mr. Combs bought the Intercontinental video only to protect his reputation. But this shows, as to Gina, he was aware that law enforcement can get involved in domestic violence. Gina has become a major part of this case. Judge, I am excluding this exhibit, A-629-A. It's unfairly prejudicial, outweighing any probative value. Combs's Driscoll. We have more objections. AUSA. Brandon Paul is going to testify next week as well as another personal assistant. Judge. I don't exclude them. So finally, who are the government's last witnesses? AUSA Comey. Summary witness, Miss Shanker, and 2 others. Personal assistant, Brendan Paul, and a law enforcement officer. We believe we will close our case next week. So I'm not really clear on whether or not they actually went ahead and removed. Hey, Martin Jackson. Hey, Lisa says what? I do apologize, guys. I was sitting here going through my Ring doorbell and completely lost track of time. Like, I haven't been home all day, and I was expecting a package. So I was like, does somebody steal my package? So I was going through my Ring doorbell, but I called and they said that it will be here tomorrow. I called the package, the company delivering it, and they said it will be here tomorrow. I should have probably just called them before going through my Ring doorbell obsessively to see if I could catch a thief. But I do apologize for the 8-minute late start, but today was pretty short and straight. I do want to mention that Kanye West, aka Ye, showed up today at court. It is reported that he spent about 20 to 30 minutes in the courthouse. He was not able to get into the main courtroom. I believe this is because he's not on the family list, and he also was fashionably late. If you want to be in the main courtroom, you have to be there very early because they select a small group of people to go into that main courtroom. Everyone else gets sent to like overflow rooms. And from what I'm hearing, what's being reported by Law and Crime, they set up an overflow room for Ye so that he wouldn't have to sit with like the general public. So he sat in that overflow room with Diddy's son, Christian Combs, for a little while, and then he left. So I'm guessing maybe he'll show up tomorrow. Maybe it'll work out, not tomorrow, on Monday. Maybe they'll work out the family list or people who must sit behind Sean P. Diddy Combs, and maybe he'll appear again on Monday. Who knows? I don't understand the significance of having Kanye West, aka Ye, sitting in support of you with all of the controversy surrounding him. I know that he claims to have turned a new leaf, but he's kind of fried. I wouldn't want him sitting by me or behind me or next to me or anything. I think Diddy needs to go through his professional Rolodex and see if he could find anybody else. But yeah, Kanye West did make an appearance at the Southern District of New York's courthouse today. As far as testimony goes today, I think the government did a great job of pointing out the way that the seizure is done by Homeland Security and the FBI, how they actually handle search and seizures, their procedures, where things were located, what items were found, how those items are handled, so that they outline the chain of custody, just to be clear that nothing was brought in or brought out. I'm surprised that his defense didn't actually go at this particular. Oh, you know what? Where the kids were at Star Island in Florida. That's why they went so hard about handcuffing the children with that other Homeland Security agent, because he was in Florida. But this special agent was very direct and straightforward, so they were able to move through his testimony relatively quickly. As far as Perez, he did an okay job, I think. He seemed to be very straightforward, honest, and open. He answered the questions directly, and I think he was a credible witness. I think he was really good as far as proving cooperation between the orchestration, as far as the people who brought the things in for the hotel nights. Now, I do realize that on cross examination with the defense, he said something to the effect of he did some of these things on his personal time or personally for Diddy and Cassie, going to the store, picking up food, setting up the rooms at times. He would do these things. But in all reality, it doesn't change the racketeering aspect of things, because he mentions that he got the money to pay for the majority of these items by way of either a company credit card or from cash out of Mr. Combs's Gucci bag. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really remove the racketeering element. In addition to that, the fact that this is not somebody that Diddy knows like on a personal level. He's still an employee, on or off the clock. If you're committing crimes and you're utilizing your employees, it doesn't change the fact that they're not clocked in. It could still be considered, illegal. So I don't know. The defense did their best, I would say, to kind of muddy the waters of Perez's testimony, but I don't think they did a great job of it. And let's see, the argument about the juror. The jury pool is supposed to come from the state of New York. Okay? If this guy lied, or as the judge said, shaded details or shaded information in order to make it onto the jury, that's an issue. That's a problem. And I think he should be removed for that. There's no reason to be shaded and inconsistent. And he said one thing during voir dire. He also said another thing during the colloquy in the robing room. And then I think it was Law and Crime reported that he also said something different to one of the people who kind of handle the jury when they're bringing in their lunch or getting them whisked into their area, to the back, into the up to their seats in the jury box. I think he had mentioned, like, boy, these trips from New Jersey to get here in time, man, is really getting difficult, or is taking a toll on me, or what have you. Something to that effect. And I think that's what brought forth this entire issue, because that individual may have went to, I think that's what Law Crime said, that the individual went to the judge and or the judge's assistants and said, hey, this guy's saying he's traveling from New Jersey. I thought the pool was supposed to be from New York. Are they aware of this man being from New Jersey? Because that's important as far as when you're talking about the jury selection process and where the pool should come from. Because if that were the case, anybody from anywhere could go into the Southern District of New York and apply to sit on this jury and say, yeah, I live in New York 60% of the time, and I live in North Carolina the other 40. No, you have to be a resident of that state in order to answer the call. But the judge sounds like he wants to remove him, but he also sounds like he's going to think about it. I'm not sure. He gave a definitive answer of he should not return on Monday, and we'll just switch the alternates. But when the defense made their argument, he said, well, let me think about it. Kind of, sort of, that type of deal. So I'm going to just table juror number 6 for now and see what happens on Monday. See if we get actual confirmation that he was definitely removed. Hey, BB London. Hey, Something Foreign. Y'all getting here at the very end. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap. I'm going to wrap for tonight. I'm really tired. I have been up all day, having a great day with my family. That's why I started so late tonight. I try to keep it at 10 o'clock every single night. But I was like, I need a moment to woosah, get myself together, get myself ready. Whew, man. But I will be keeping you guys informed on the happenings next week. And I cannot wait to see what the defense is bringing to the table. Are you guys ready to hear what defense witnesses the Diddy's lawyers are going to present? I can't wait. I'm excited to see. Some people are speculating that there are going to be a lot of industry people, big names and celebrities and things like that. I don't know. They all seem to be being very quiet, but I wouldn't be shocked. But I don't know that will be able to sway the jury. Because everybody's like, oh, if celebrities come in there, the jury is probably going to be starstruck and this, that, and that. When the judge gives those jury instructions, he is going to highlight and outline what the jury needs to focus on during their deliberations. Yes, of course, when you go into the deliberation room, you don't leave who you are. You don't leave your moral compass. You don't leave your personal feelings. You don't leave your life experiences. You do not leave all of what you are, who you are, and how you are. Okay? But they will have a standard set of instructions to follow. I'm just excited to see what the defense's case is going to be. And I'm also excited to see how the government actually cross-examines those witnesses that are brought forward. Today's point, everyone, goes to the government. Great witnesses, very good testimony. And they continue to just lay it out brick by brick as far as the RICO case and the indictment and the charges they have filed against Sean Puff Daddy Combs. So my point goes to the government. As it stands as of today, let's check the point system, guys. The government is now at 13. Jane is at 5 points, y'all. Jane has 5 points, okay? And the defense is at 4 points. Now, as I've stated before, the points may change drastically once the defense presents their case in chief. When the defense is up to bat and they present their case in chief, hey, the defense might tie it up. I want to be clear also, my point system has nothing to do with my prediction or my hope for the outcome, none of it. I'm giving out these points solely based on performance, solely based on what I'm hearing as well as seeing as far as evidence being presented by the government as they lay out their case in chief. I will do the same when it is the defense's turn. If they're batting at 1,000, if they're putting out a good counter narrative, they're getting my point. But the idea of, oh, these were consensual relationships. These women are doing it for financial gain. Clearly there were crimes committed here. Clearly. There was rug trafficking, rug smuggling. Put a D in front of the rug, y'all. There was SMEX trafficking. Everybody keeps on focusing on the two main women who are named as victims in this case. Everybody. But they're missing the fact that the SMEX workers, they were also trafficked. Okay? So it's not just Jane and Cassie. It's the Punisher. If they ever saw him outside of the state of New York, as a matter of fact, if they ever saw him outside of the state of New York, let's say, for instance, he met them in Connecticut, sex trafficking. The guy Sly, he left from Atlanta to LA to Miami. That's sex trafficking. Okay? So please don't let those individuals, don't let that go over your head. The law is the law. There's no shades of gray. There's absolutely no shades of gray. Okay? I will see you guys at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing today. Be sure to set your notifications to all so that you're notified when I go live or add new content. I appreciate all of you who are here in the live chat. Thank you, Midwife. Thank you, Lisa Says What. Thank you, Crystal Mods. Thank you, Something Foreign. Thank you, Martin Jackson. Let me see. Let me make sure nobody else came in here. Thank you, Bush Babies. I see you. And you know what, guys? It's funny. You know what's funny to me? I was checking my analytics of this channel yesterday or day before. And do you guys know that I have more male subscribers than I do females? That is crazy to me, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That is pretty awesome. But guys, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys again. I will catch y'all on the next one. Let's see. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be sure to have a great weekend. Oh, and to all the men who are subscribed to my channel, to all of the dads, to all of the fathers, all of the stepdads, all of the uncles who play the part of dad, all of the foster fathers, single fathers, husbands, all of you dads out there, even the dads in heaven, even the dads who probably know that they should do a better job of being there for their children, I want to tell you, happy Father's Day. Enjoy your day. You are to be celebrated because no matter what, you had something to do with bringing forth little humans into this world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of the wonderful men out there. Thank you. We love you.